Today on Reese Dixon, we are getting in the holiday spirit and making some heart-shaped Valentine's flowers. Hi everybody, it's Teresa with ReeseDixon.com, and today we are going to be making some adorable little Valentine's decorations with this bouquet of hearts. Typically, I haven't done a lot for Valentine's Day in the past. When it was just me and Jared, we kind of had that like too cool for school attitude, like we don't need somebody telling us we need a special day. We don't need somebody bossing us around. Now that we have Atticus, I'm actually rediscovering all these holidays and having so much fun with them. So I wanted to have a little seasonal decor we could have in our house to celebrate these fun, festive days. So for this, I got all of my supplies at the dollar store or for free. Super cheap and a fun way if you want to do something special for your loved one, but they don't like flowers or flowers are too expensive. This could be a fun teacher's gift too, especially if the whole class got in on it together and they each had a heart that they made. So I've got two different versions. Let me get you started. So these little glitter hearts here actually started life as these little egg-shaped styrofoam ornaments. I got these at the dollar store, and if you can't find little ornaments like this, an egg shape is actually a really traditional styrofoam shape. I don't exactly know why, but you can almost always find an egg-shaped styrofoam, even if you can't find hearts. If you can find heart ornaments, then you are ahead of the game, but I couldn't. I found these little eggs. So all I'm doing is pulling out that little ribbon tag, and then I'm going to cut this so that it makes half the heart shape. So to do that, I'm going to start just before that curve comes to the point, and I'm going to cut right across to the top there where that curve comes around. Okay, like that. Just snip right through it. So I'll come back with my scissors and kind of clean that up a little bit, but I've already done the other side. You can see once you mush them together, you'll get your heart shape. So to make these so that they'll actually stand up on your little picks, what I've done is I've got a couple pieces of wire hanger. So this is how it started, right? And I used my wire cutters to cut here, and cut here, and cut here, and that gave me this little wire pick. That hanger was free from the dry cleaners, so far I think I've spent $1. So I'm gonna pick one side and kind of shove my hanger up into the styrofoam like that. And then instead of the traditional glue, to stick these together, I'm going to use a dimensional fabric paint. This I just had in my drawer, dimensional fabric paint, and so I'm gonna generously apply that all over the inside and stick these things together. Okay, and glue. Now, the reason I'm using dimensional fabric paint and not just regular old glue is because, unlike glue, this will hold its shape. So I'm going to use it like spackle. I'm going to use it to fill up these holes that were left behind from where I pulled out the ribbon hanger. I'm going to use it here at the bottom where my edges don't quite meet. And I'm going to use it all around that seam to kind of blend that in a little bit so that it doesn't look so much like two halves just stuck together, so that it can start to kind of look like one piece. So I'm going to use my fabric glue all the way down, just kind of whoop, smooth it with my finger like if you've ever caulked a bathroom, it's the same thing. I'm just going to do this and then let this get good and dry. So you have to have a little bit of faith in me, because while this is drying, especially if you use a colored fabric paint like I did, it's not cute. You have to have a little bit of faith in the process. But once it's done, it's adorable. So once you have your fabric paint dried overnight, all I did here was I came in with an acrylic paint and painted it red. And then when that was dry, I painted the whole thing with my trusty tacky glue. And then I poured some glitter over the top of it. And then that's it. And you've got this cute little red heart ornament. You know, this would even be adorable if you are giving flowers just as some little arrangement decoration. I think they're super cute. So you can stop here if you want to, but I never stop when I should. So I'm going to go ahead and make a second kind of flower, these laced up paper heart flowers. And these ones are so easy and great for kids because it's lacing, you know, they can do that. So I've got some scrapbook paper here that I've already used to make this little one. And all I've done is place them the wrong sides together. And then I cut a random heart out of a piece of cardboard. I just fold it in half like you learn when you're in elementary school and cut myself a heart shape. And then I'm going to use this as my pattern so that I don't have to fold my pretty paper in half and have the big seam. I can just copy this. So I'm going to cut around this, but you can just cut it right out in the same heart shape. But since I am a long-term scrapbooker, a very long-term scrapbooker, I have a million of these patterned scissors, like they cut in a patterned shape. So I'm going to use this opportunity to bust out these old school scissors and create a pretty little edge around my heart. Alright, so now to make this a little bit puffy, I've taken a few scraps of paper and just wadded them up into balls. So I've got more of my trusty tacky glue. I just got this in a little pen shape that I'm obsessed with. And I'm going to run this. See, I've been using it already. I'm going to run this around the edges. Oh no, I've already run out of my favorite glue. Okay. So with my glue on, the first thing I'm going to do is take another one of these wire hanger pieces and lay that down on one of the heart shapes, and I'm going to just pour on a whole bunch more glue to keep that straight. Okay, so we've got the hanger, and then on top of that I'm going to take these balls that I talked about and kind of shove those in the middle. And then I'm going to take my other heart and put it on top. Now, this is actually the trickiest part of the whole thing. So if you're doing this with kids, you're going to want to do this part yourself. Until the glue dries, I have to find a way to keep these two hearts touching. So I have pulled out a ton of bobby pins. And I'm just going to use those to kind of keep all of those edges smushed in place until the glue dries and can take care of that for me. Okay, so I'll give this a few minutes to dry, and you don't have to be too fanatical about getting like a super tight seal, because a lot of that can be taken care of when you're doing your lacing part. And if you just use like 3 pieces of paper, it's not like anything's gonna escape from here. So, okay, I'll give this a second, let that dry, and then all we have to do is lace it up and our flowers will be done. My paper heart is dry enough so that when I pull the bobby pins off, it's not separating, so that means we're good to go. So now, all I have to do is punch the holes so that I can lace it up with ribbon. So this looks very intimidating, but it's really just a hole punch. It's a fantastic hole punch, but it's just a hole punch. So you can use, you know, whatever you have lying around it in your office supply drawer. And I'm just going to make holes at regular intervals. I'm not measuring anything, I'm not counting anything, I'm just putting holes where I feel like putting holes. There we go. And then I just have to take my ribbon and lace it up. So I'm gonna pick which side I want as the front. I'm gonna say that side. And then I'm going to go in there. So that once I pull this all through, oops, got a little carried away, then the bow will remain to be tied on the front. I did not punch enough holes for it to work out evenly for both ends to come through on the same side. So all I did was bring the other side back up through where I started and then just tie a little bow off center, which I think is adorable. So here's how it looks when you get them to meet up correctly, or I guess evenly, and have one bow at the bottom, and then here it is up to the side. And I kind of like the variety, so I'm glad it worked out accidentally that way. So I am so pleased with how this has turned out. I think my first foray into Valentine's Day decorating was a success. I think I'm gonna put some crumpled up paper or basket stuffing stuff inside the vase, and then I can play with, you know, the different heights a little bit more. You can also do that through cutting the wires different sizes, and I did that a little bit, and that's why I have some that are a little too short. So you just have to be a little more thoughtful about it than I was. But like I said earlier, I think that this is a great idea for teachers' gifts, for a little Valentine's Day present that isn't going to just die, and even for little decorations that you can add to some flowers so that you have something that you keep from year to year, in addition to a little gesture of love on the special day. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please leave me a comment if you have any questions. And if you make this, I would love to see pictures of it and hear how your Valentine's Day went. So please subscribe to the channel because I've got more where this came from that you're not going to want to miss. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.